Doing a quick check here, folks, if we are.
All right, now we're up.
You said now we're up?
Yep, I think we're up now. Yeah, my phone clicked. We're up. We're live again. We're live again. So everybody might have missed all the talk about our Gators, but or my Gators anyway. So again, my pick here is Gators going to cover those 7 points, and you were alluding to otherwise. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, real quickly, it's a Gus Malzahn-led team. I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They're playing Big Brother in a sense. Another SEC team, got to prove themselves. I think they'll give you all a pretty good game. So I'm not rushing to get any money down on it or anything like that, but I'd probably lean towards UCF on it.
All right. We shall see. So that's a head-to-head for sure there, right?
It is, most definitely. So
all right.
And now we got Memphis, Hawaii, if you want to get us started on that one.
Yeah, so let's see. Memphis here is favored by 8.5 versus Hawaii. Tigers are 6-6, 4-8 against the spread. Tough year for the Tigers. Kind of like the Gators, one of their worst seasons in a while. They lost 3 of their last 5 games. Their big win, against SMU a few weeks ago. The good news is that quarterback Hennigan is back and healthy. They played that transfer from LSU that was horrible, and Hennigan's decent.
Right.
The problem the Tigers have is they have not been able to identify a good running back. We all know they usually have out of there, but the Warriors are 6-7, 6-7. They won 2 of their last. They won their last 2 games against Colorado State, UNLV, and nothing to really write home to mom about. They lost 3 prior to that. I just think that 8.5 points is too much in this game. We know the Hawaii factor. Those guys playing at home in their bowl, it's their bowl in Hawaii. I think 8.5 is too much, so I'm gonna say get those points and go with Hawaii in this particular game because I just don't think Memphis has enough. I think the problem with the run game's an issue, and I really haven't been that impressed this year with their offense in how they've been able to move the ball in the past. So I'm going with Hawaii, unfortunately, against my alma mater.
Yeah, I think I'd have to lean your way as well. A lot of teams have some trouble, especially when they got some time to be chilling down in Hawaii to stay focused on what they're there for. So I think I'd have to lean with you on that one. I'm not on either side, but I think I'd have to lean the Hawaii side with you.
Yeah, it's not a game I put stock a whole lot of money in, but I think Hawaii can win that one. So next game, Houston versus Auburn. This game for Dave is going to be a surprise lock. So Houston is 11-2, 7-5 against the spread, but we know they're not in the Power 5.
Right.
Before they lost by 15 points against Cincinnati. They won the previous 10 games. Now they haven't beaten a Power 5 team all year. The Tigers are 6-6, 6-6 against the spread. Auburn lost their last 4 games, but they hung with Alabama. We all remember that one, right?
Yep.
Bo has transferred to Oregon, for Oregon. Now, the interesting situation here is that a large number of players for the Tigers are declaring for the draft and aren't playing. All their studs on defense are not going to play. With that said, I'm going with Houston and take those 2.5 points in the upset here because I don't think Auburn's going to have enough in the tank. And I think Houston's got a really good defense that's going to stop that crappy offense. This is going to be probably going to be a low-scoring game. But I think Houston's going to pull this one off.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the Cougs here. I think Dana Holgerson will have them ready to go. That defense is legit. Offense can keep up with Auburn if they even get some going. So I'm with you here. I think Houston's got a little bit more to play for than Auburn does.
Yeah, and I think that's one I'm going to sink a little dough in. So next up, what do you think?
I think it's a good call. Yeah. Again, do not take what we're saying as gold lock-proof stuff. These are just our opinions.
Fun, Mike. This is all for fun.
Just our opinions. Make your own decisions, folks.
Absolutely. We are not experts. This is about having fun.
Well, hey, come on.
Head-to-heads, you never finished calculating that, did you?
Nah, we'll have to. You know what?
Remember, you were going to calculate that.
I will. I'll do it. We can get on for the championship after these first playoff things, and we'll talk the championship game, and we'll go over the record. How about that?
Yeah. I'll be anxious to see where that was. All right. So let's talk Maryland and Virginia Tech here. So the Terps, and I do have some interesting info here. So Maryland getting 3.5 over Virginia Tech. The Terps are 6-6, 3-8 against the spread, which ain't very good. They've lost 3 of their last 5 games. But the 3 losses that they had, Michigan State, Penn State. Tulia Tagovailoa has been relatively decent, pretty respectable quarterback, tossing the ball around. He's really come around as a QB this year, so some confidence there. He's come in at 6-6, 5-7 against the spread. We know they fired their coach a while back. They have won 3 of their last 5 games. The problem I see, Braxton Burmeister, their QB, transfer portal and won't play, as well as just like Auburn, all the NFL are laying out. So that's why I say I feel very comfortable in taking Maryland to cover those 3.5 points. What say you?
Interesting. It's not a game that I'm going to get to the board on, but if I was, I'd be on you too. I like Maryland's coach Loxley. I think he's got that program trending in the right direction, whereas, like you're saying, Virginia Tech, not so much right now. They just did make a new head coaching hire. They brought in an old Vatech guy. We'll see if they can do something, make something happen, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Maryland's the play there, but I may end up getting to it on that one, but I think that's the side.
Yeah, all right, cool. Next up, we got Oklahoma State versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame getting 1.5 here. Cowboys are 11-2, 9-4 against the spread. They won 4 of their last 5 games. They did slip up against Baylor, lost by a little bit. The reason they lost was their quarterback Spencer Sanders had 4 interceptions. Most of the year, and he just had a horrible day against Baylor. Baylor's got a good defense. Now, Oklahoma has a good defense. Oklahoma State has a good defense. They're actually ranked third. That's how good that D is. So keep that in mind as we move along. Come on, man. 9-3 against the spread. Their only loss to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati was the only ranked team that they played. FYI. To me, this is thinking Notre Dame's all that, but man, I'll take Oklahoma here. Lock it.
Yep, I think I'm with you here, Dave. I like Oklahoma State, I think, in this one as well. Their defense is legit. We've been shaky on Notre Dame all season. They're 11-1, but it's been a very bumpy 11-1. They have the head coaching change, so the DC is getting thrown into that slot a little early. I don't think that's going to be a huge issue there, but I just think Oklahoma State is the better team. If these two teams meet in the playoffs or anything other scenario, regular season, I think Oklahoma State handles it. So I like them here in this. Go Cowboys. I'm with you on this one.
Yep. All right. All right, next up, some more of your ACC here. So we have NC State.
ACC.
They're favored by UCLA. The Wolfpack are 9-3, 7-5 against the spread. They won four of the last 5 games. The loss coming to Wake in a very close game. This is another defensive game. So NC State's got a good defense, ranked 22nd. Devin Leary, the QB for NC State, is 18th in the country in passing efficiency. The Bruins come in at 8-4 against the spread, but they're playing in the pack at 10. They've won their last 3 games, and with big wins over the powerhouses of USC and Cal. They do have the 31st ranked defense. Dorian Smith is only the 33rd ranked passer, so I kind of do the weigh it up against Leary being 18, and the fact that the defense is better at NC State. I look at these two conferences as being relatively comparable. I think we know a little bit more about ACC, but to me, this is another easy one for me. I'm going to take NC State to cover the 1.5.
With you again, Dave. I like NC. We've taken NC State a couple of times this year. I've also gone against them a couple of times this year. So we're fairly familiar with that team. I think they'll come to this game again. They sort of had that chip on their shoulder all year. That's kind of how they've been playing. Like they got something to prove. They're on a mission. I think Leary gets it done, and then I think he's going to the draft. So this is a game that they want to win because otherwise they got some unfinished business still, I feel like. So look for them to win this one and Leary take his talents to the combine.
Yep. All right. We're straight up on that one. Let's hit them again with Clemson getting a point versus Iowa State. So Clemson, who started off in the ditch, is now 9-3, 4-8 against the spread. They won their last 5 games and salvaged their season. Their defense, as we know, their D coordinator went to Oklahoma. Defense ranked 9th in the nation. The Cyclones come in at 7-5, 5-7 against the spread. Obviously, they got I believe they got Brock Purdy, right, who's been around forever. Seems like 10 years. Their defense is ranked 10th. So we got the 9th and 10th ranked defense. So this is another defensive battle, I think, low-scoring game. However, they've lost 3 of their last 5 games. Now, the nugget here, no starting running back, Breece Hall, whatever. 2, their top 2 receivers are not playing. and 3 players to the portal. So this one is it's another easy one for me. Again, it's going to be a lot of defense, but Clemson's going to take this one.
Wow. Well, sir, here's our showdown. We got one.
All right.
I like Iowa State. There is a little bit of controversy going down in Clemson right now. It's everybody's getting out. All the assistant coaches are getting other jobs. Their recruiting's taking some hits. There's guys hitting the transfer portal. Frank Ladd, he's going to Miami. By the way, the U is back. We haven't really had a chance to talk about this on air, Dave. I just want to let everybody know out there, Miami is back. It's been a long 20 years. I feel safe saying this now. I haven't in a long time, but we are here. We've arrived. You're welcome, college football. It's going to get fun again, So next year it begins. It's going to get great. So, but yeah, I love Iowa State. Matt Campbell is going to get it done. Dabo's got some issues going on in Clemson. He was out at a Raiders game a week or two ago. That's his dime. Who knows if he's going to leave and take an NFL job this offseason. There's a little bit of issues in Clemson right now that his DC is gone. Offense can't get it going, and even the offensive coach is now dipped. What are they going to do? I like Iowa State. Iowa State, showdown game.
Beat Iowa State.
Gator Dave. We'll see what happens.
Showdown, not play. Boom! Money on Wisconsin. Lock it in.
Yep, I love that pick. Wisconsin is a different breed of football team when it comes bowl time. I know this all too well. They've beat up on my Canes a couple of times in bowls in the recent years. They're just different, man. And Arizona State, while they may have the speed, they're not going to have the size. Wisconsin's had a lot of injuries, especially at the running back position this year, but it hasn't really stopped them. They just sort of locked and reloaded and just kept going.
They play their
same
brand.
I'm with you. I like Wisconsin here. I think it's a no-brainer in this one.
It'll be like 21-7 or something. That game will not be worth watching. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
But it'll be a low-scoring game. But the Badgers got that one for sure. All right. And this next game really, tough one for me. Tough one. Penn State, Arkansas. So Penn State's getting 1.5 points. Nittany Lions 7-5 against the spread. Lost 3 of their 5 last games. But those 3 losses were to Ohio State, Michigan State. They sport the 32nd ranked defense in the land. They will be without their star wideout, Jahan Dotson. The Hogs come in at 8-4. They've been pretty much the surprise of the SEC. 7-5 against the spread. They won 4 of their last 5 games. They only lost to Alabama by a touchdown. But the Razorbacks going to be without their super-duper star wide receiver, Traylon Burks. If you ever watched an Arkansas game, he was the dominant receiver for that team. I mean, he was the guy that made it happen. They're also best defensive player, Trey Williams, will not be playing either. So, still made a tough pick for me. Oh, man, I hate going against the SEC, but I'm going to take Penn State to cover the 1.5.
Another showdown, Dave. I am on Arkansas State here, sir.
All right. This was a tough
here. I think they get it done. KJ Jefferson comes to play. Pittman has them ready to go. Uh, I think this is a game that they handle pretty easily. I mean, James Franklin, he was having rumors that he was going to be fired. He had rumors that he was going to take other jobs. He just hired Manny Diaz as his defensive coordinator. He's a little desperate right now.
I mean, Manny's a great defensive coordinator. I mean, he was at
great. Great is a bold word choice there, Dave. Great is bold.
I mean, you were worshiping the ground that he walked on years ago, buddy. Come on.
For 2 years, yeah. Mark Richt's first 2 years that he was a coach.
Yeah.
Yep, he did very well. But before that and after that, not so much, my friend. Not so much. So, unfortunately for Penn State and James Franklin, he probably just hired his demise. We'll see.
We shall.
I like Arkansas here.
All right. Well, this is a game that I'm not putting my little green on, meaning that it'll be one that I stay away from.
Yeah, I don't think I'm putting anything on these last 2 games, at least not as of yet.
You talking about the last 2 we talked about?
No, the last 2 we're about to discuss, the playoff games.
There's no way. And we talked about that. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I'm not the Penn State Arkansas is just too tough for me. So, well, let's go to those 2 games. Cincinnati, Alabama, 13.5 points. So the Bearcats are 13-0, 8-5 against the spread. Of course, they haven't lost. 1 win against a Power 5 team against Notre Dame, and we know how we both feel about that team. However, your boy Desmond Ritter, 11th in passing efficiency, really good QB, right? A lot of confidence in him. The defense, number 7 in the nation, but it is AAC, right? But they do have a good defense. They had trouble running the ball against Notre Dame. Okay, so something to keep in mind when you're looking at this one. The Tide, of course, 12-1, only 6-6 against the spread. Their last game, they torched the Bulldogs. Their one loss against Texas A&M in October. They got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in Bryce Young. Their defense is ranked 8th in the nation. So the big question is, do the Tide play like they did against Georgia, or do they play like they did against if it's the latter, if it's they play like they did against Georgia, then they'll cover the spread. So at this particular point, without COVID coming into play, I think Cincinnati's going to give them a game, and I think I would take Cincinnati and the 13.5 right now. I would not call that a lock right now. I'll wait and see what comes out with COVID. That's where I am. I think they're going to play like Auburn. They're going to win the game. They're going to win the game, and they're going to go to the championship, yada, yada, yada. But right now, I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
That's fair. I am not. I think Alabama is going to wipe the floor with Cincinnati.
And aren't you going to? Well, then you just said you wouldn't play these games.
I'm not. Because I'm not. As of right now. There's still a couple of weeks left that could change my mind, but I've seen Alabama play in person this year. I've watched a couple of their games throughout the year, almost all of them, it feels like. And I've seen Cincy play a few, maybe a couple, 2 or 3 here and there, especially the Notre Dame game. But Alabama is going to absolutely destroy this team. I think it could be close to beginning. Since he's going to come out with some energy, but Alabama is too good, man. They are going to come to play. Saban's going to be ready. They're going to have their coaches looking up everything on Cincinnati for the last 4 or 5 years. Everything that Luke Fickell's done when he's been there on defense, they'll be ready for it. I think Alabama gets it done in a big, big way and sort of ends all the talk of Cincinnati. I'm thinking like 41-20. If Cincy can score that, I think it's going to be brutal. I think it's going to be bad. So that's the side that I'm leaning on right now. But again, no, I'm not rushing to put anything on this yet. I'm sort of waiting to see, just like you are, because there's a little bit too much up in the air with all the COVID stuff going on right now. But we got about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But as of right now, that's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, we really have what? Let's see. 8, 9. Is it New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? It's New Year's Day. That's 9 days. That's, a lot can happen. A lot can happen. Like I say, I'm holding back on these last two as well, for sure, because I just don't know.
Yeah.
So the next game, the hometown Georgia Bulldogs getting 7.5 over Michigan. So we look at this one. Georgia, we know, 12-1, 8-5 against the spread. Georgia's only lost. I still don't think Stetson can get them to a national. A couple interceptions. JT's got COVID now, so it's in doubt whether he's going to even be able to play. The Dogs have had a little bit of trouble running the ball. They still sport the second-ranked defense in the country. Big Blue, 12-1 as well, 11-2 against the spread. Their one loss against Michigan State at the end of October. They whooped Ohio State by 15. They've got the 12th ranked defense, 7th ranked defense against the rush. So I think they're going to be able to hold off the running attack of Georgia, at least contain them and make Stetson throw the ball. The one thing also to note with the Wolverines is they're the big rushing team, right? It's going to be ground and pound for them. They don't expect a lot of passing. I was looking at the stats for their quarterbacks, and they're not even in the top 50. So it's going to definitely be ground and pound. They got a great running back and backups along with that. But with all that said, I think Georgia's pissed, and they're ready for Alabama again, and they're going to cover the 7.5 points.
Well, I, sir, am leaning Michigan.
If I were betting, though, again, I would wait. If somebody were asking me to bet, I would wait until we got close to the game. But go ahead, Mike.
Right.
You say you're going Michigan?
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that as well. But yeah, I'm on Michigan. I think Michigan's defense is right up there with Georgia's. Georgia's a very good defense, don't get me wrong, but they have been they've had some weaknesses and some holes in that defense as of late. There's been a couple teams able to expose it and kind of get some scoring on them, especially Alabama, obviously. But some other teams did as well towards the end of the season where, that's supposed to be the time where things are clicking and things are sort of locked up and you're sort of just moving and grooving at that point. They had a few hiccups. Michigan, on the other hand, that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting hot at the exact right time. They're playing their best ball since Harbaugh's been there. They are riding that momentum. They feel good. They look good. They got that swag to them right now. You saw what the guy said at the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I mean, they're playing with confidence. That's something that Michigan hasn't done in a very long time. I think you're right. I think Michigan's able to slow down Georgia's rushing attack, force Stetson to make some throws. I think he's gonna throw 2 or 3 picks. He is not the guy that Georgia needs to lead them to a championship. If he gets down, he tries to do too much to bring them back. It's almost he feels too pressured, or I don't know what it is, but I like Michigan here. I think this is Michigan's year to make something happen. I've been on high on Georgia all year. We've been saying this is Georgia's year the entire year till that Alabama game. And now, I'm sort of leaning the other side. Again, there's some weaknesses in that Georgia team. I really like the under in this game, I think, Dave. I think if that's really anything that I'm leaning towards right now, it's probably that under.
What is the?
It's at 45 right now. But that's probably where I'm leaning. I think it's going to be low scoring, maybe like 21-17. Could easily see this game go into overtime, which, if that's the case, Michigan plus that 7 plus a 7.5, you're in there like swimwear. That's probably where I'd have to go with it, is Michigan as of right now. But again, wait as long as you can, really, until you get that in. Unless, you want these earlier numbers, by all means. I don't think the number is going to change too much unless something drastic happens.
Right.
So for me, I'm going to hold off for a while. But if you feel like this is the number, go ahead and get it in, lock it in. But for me, and I think for you, Dave, we're going to hold off a little bit and kind of see how the COVID process plays.
5 and 7 teams. Now they're going to go and say, okay, and I don't have the damn bowl schedule in front of me, but those teams that played at the beginning of bowl season, maybe they throw one of those guys in, because you know what the payout for the Peach Bowl is $5 million.
Wow.
$5 million to the team. So it's like, and what's the Tulsa. I'm just trying to think of those teams that have played already that, and who'd be interested in, $5 million, shit.
I think a lot of teams would probably be. I'm sure they'll find somebody. I think at that point, Wake Forest may throw some money at somebody. Like, hey, Rutgers, here's $5,000 and a shot at $5 million. Come play us in the Peach Bowl, and just wax them.
Well, you go back here. You go back to Coastal Carolina that played on they 5 years ago. Western Kentucky and App State. To me, those 3 teams are Fresno State. Those teams. Give it to what about UAB who beat BYU? Shit. Who knows? So that's where they are in the pecking order now. But the Peach Bowl, what's the date of the Peach Bowl? It's coming up. It's December 30th. It's 8 days away. So if they can make a decision in the next couple of days, those teams would be whacked not to take $5 million.
Yeah, well, I think they need to know on it probably by tomorrow if it's going to happen or not. Or they may have to just postpone it in general. But if they do that, you got all these people that have planned to come into town, have booked hotels, everything like that. Are they able to make that change, and how does that affect them and ticket sales and all the mess right now?
It's the Gator Bowl.
It's the Gator Bowl?
Gator Bowl. Yeah, it's in Jacksonville. Oh, it's the 31st, even from now. It's
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I'd still even say they probably need a decision by tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
you got all the logistics and all that kind of stuff that would need to come into play. But I mean, shoot, I'd love to see, one of those other teams come in there, and see what, Coastal or Western Kentucky. I mean, they put up 59 points on App State. Fresno State 31-24 against UTEP. Liberty 56-20 over Eastern Michigan. I mean, one of those, to make it fun, the high-powered offenses. I mean, against Wake, I mean, hell, that'd be a 50-50 game,
What if they brought in the national championship winner, FCS?
Yeah, division, yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
I would.
There's some kind of bullshit, regulation against that. I'm sure that'd probably piss some people off, unless everybody told them no, But I just can't imagine some of these teams that played a few days ago, not taking the opportunity to get $5 million if their kids were here. We'll see. All right.
All right, Dave.
What else you got, Mike?
That's it for me, sir. That's those are the bowl games for us. We'll see how they play out, and you and me will touch back base on really after the playoff games, after that first round of playoff games, and we'll jump back on, do a record count, see where you stand on the year, see where I stand on the year going into the championship, and see if we can't end this year on a winning streak.
Absolutely, and we can talk some more college football. What's going on? What's happening? Talk about our teams. Shoot, maybe we invite little Gleason to talk about Tallahassee State. He can talk about his team. We talk about all the Florida teams.
Overdue for sure. We'll have to get these connection issues resorted and resolved beforehand, though. I think this show was a little choppy on the connection side. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and it very well could have been my connections had some issues over the last few days with.
I think it's a combination probably of both, and just kids being off school, people being home more than usual, internet everywhere kind of being consumed that way. So I think that's kind of what it ties down to the most, to be honest with you. It's just some juice.
Yeah. Well, good show tonight. Hopefully we can we'll get some folks taking a look at the recording and. Oh, there you go, Heat Man. He's ready for NBA.
That's right.
Ready for NBA, Miami Mike.
Season is switching over slowly but surely.
Hopefully we get some folks watching the show. Yeah, I can't stand it though, man. I DT'd it. I no college football is gonna be tough for me, real tough. So what Devon and I did, we got our Atlanta United, and we got out of the United, so a little bit of soccer coming into play. So I don't know what the soccer people say out there, but maybe we could tie that in at a later date. But we're looking forward to watching a little soccer. They start, end of February or something like that. So a little field time, till football starts and baseball starts and all that kind of good stuff. So
cool.
It should be good.
Right on. That's what's up.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because it'll be after the New Year before we actually do another show. We'll probably talk, and I will text in between now and then. But you guys have a great holiday, bud.
Yeah, for sure. You too, Dave. I appreciate it, and. You and Nirvana and Ian and Jared's family, everybody watching. Thanks for watching, everybody in the chat. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hope you get to spend some time with your family. And yeah, good luck on these games. We'll see what happens, and hopefully there's some good ones. I love bowl
Absolutely.
season. We should get some good matchups. Lots of good upsets.
Absolutely. Should be an exciting bowl season coming up. Ready to kick back and watch some games, man. And last but not least, go Gators.
Go Canes, baby. Go Canes. We're back. We're back.
They're back. They're back. Canes are back.
That's
All
right.
right.
All right, Dave.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, folks.
Have a good night.
See you guys.